Welcome to Yellow Cardinal Tarot. My name is Carol, and this is a general reading for Sagittarius, March 2024. And so Sagittarius, today what I want to do is I want to look at your current energy. Maybe you're sitting in a difficult situation. Maybe you're having to make a decision. Maybe there's a pattern that's coming up in your life that's showing up for you again. Excuse me. And you're having trouble, deciding what you need to do with your next step. So we're gonna look at that, and so that's what you're consciously aware of. Then what I want to do is I want to look at your shadow, and that's what's coming up for you to heal. And if you're not familiar with shadow work, that term, I have a video, really good video that I did. It's in my description box and explains a lot about how to do shadow work. And so, because what's coming up for you to heal is having a big impact on your situation that you're in right now. And then finally, I'm going to ask for some direction from the tarot. And and then I'll leave you with a video at the end that will help you with what you need to work on in order to heal what's coming up for you. So what I want to do, I want to start off with asking the tarot for one card for each section, first of all. Just one card. If it's more, I'll have to put it back. But one card for each section, and then I'll clarify with the Rider-Waite. So I'm going to use the Light Seers Tarot right now. And I'm going to ask for a card for Sagittarius's energy right now that we're sitting in. One card, please. And you have the Star in reverse. The Star in reverse for what you're sitting in. What's coming up in your shadow? Oh, too many cards here. That's coming up in your shadow. What is coming up in your shadow for you to heal? And we have the Page of Wands in reverse. And advice from the tarot, please. That one came out nicely. The Hierophant. The Hierophant card. All right. So we got our 3 cards quickly, which is really nice. Rider-Waite, let's clarify the Star right now. The Star card in reverse. One more. I didn't like the way those shuffled. There. Okay, 2 cards, please, for clarification. Come out. One more, please. Oh, okay. We have the Strength card and the 5 of Swords in reverse, and the Strength was in reverse as well, and the 9 of Pentacles. And that's interesting because I'll show you why it's interesting in a second. Talk about that. Okay, so your what's coming up in your shadow for you to heal? Okay, when that happens, I go another route. And we got too many cards. There, these 2 fell out. Okay, so I have the High Priestess in reverse. Before that, the Knight of Swords. And we have the Chariot card. Okay, so Okay, 2 more for the Hierophant. Hopefully you come out quickly. Not happening. Oh, there's one. The 2 of Cups in reverse. Yeah. Okay, one more. Ooh. 2 again. You have 3 in each. Woo! Okay, the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. And the Ace of Swords. Okay, so Sagittarius, in your March reading that I did for, sorry, your yearly reading 2024, and I have them all linked in the description box. I pulled what the card you got for March, and that was the 9 of Pentacles. And so that's your overriding energy, and it's very, I said that it was interesting earlier that because it came up again. So I like that. It kind of tells me that I'm on the same, that I'm doing okay. Because this was your current energy. It's a clarifier. So you have the 9 of Pentacles twice here. The 9 of Pentacles is about, it's about abundance. And it comes after the 8 of Pentacles. And the 8 of Pentacles, it's important to understand the 8 of Pentacles. And that is about, you know, Pentacles is about work, your workspace. And it's one of the things it can be about. And it's 8 of Pentacles is about doing a job that you really like. Doing something that you're passionate about. Doing something you've always wanted to do. And so that's kind of your overriding energy here for March. You know, there's sort of a promise here of abundance for you when you're doing a job that you really want to do, or doing something that you really want to do. It's kind of like your life's purpose maybe, or the direction you want to take your life in. There's abundance here for you. And we'll talk about that a bit. So the Star card is the first card that comes out. So I'm seeing here that you're sitting in, the Star card is really, that's the card that comes after the Tower in the Major Arcana. And the Tower card is, you know, that happens when there's been something that's really shaken you up. You know, it's usually something that takes your life in a different direction. And so whatever it is, it's a general reading here. There's a real need here for some healing to take place. And it is in it is in reverse. So it tells me that maybe there's a resistance to it, or it's kind of like it's saying there is a need here. There's a need for you to start to heal. This is where you're sitting here. So maybe you've just, you know, there has been some tower moment in your life. Something has happened where, you know, you're going into March with some real healing that needs to happen. And the Strength card is a beautiful card that comes out for you, and it's in reverse. But the Strength card is all about, you know, this woman who's looking like she's taming this lion. You know, she's not afraid. She's not afraid to, you know, hold the lion the way that she is. She's just not afraid to tame this lion. And she has great strength. And this is a card really that reminds us that when we need to heal, when we need to go inside, when we need to go inwards and start to feel some of these emotions that need to be felt in order for us to heal, because that is the only way we can heal anything. There is no other way. The Strength card comes up to say, you have what it takes to go inside and start your healing. You have the strength, and it's here to remind you. But it is in a reverse here. So I'm sitting here, like, first you have 2 cards here that are in reverse. You have healing that needs to take place, a resistance to doing it. And now I know why, because you don't feel like you can do this. For whatever reason, you fear it. You don't think you have the strength to go inwards. You don't think that you can start to feel these feelings, these emotions that you need in order to heal what you need to heal, what's coming up for you in March. And the Five of Swords comes up in reverse, and the Five of Swords is a card where I really like to focus on this. You have this individual at the front who's, you know, obviously won this battle. He's got this grimace on his face, but I really like to focus on the person at the back who's lost. He's the loser here, you know? And sometimes I think of this card as a real bullying card. This is a 5, so there's a lot of conflict in this card. And I think of this person that's been bullied, that's been beaten, and he's sort of, you know, he's hunched over, and you can tell he has his hands on his face, and to me that just screams of shame. There's just so much shame in this card. You know, this unworthiness here, and that's in reverse for you. So this is a real card for me of shame and unworthiness. And so I'm feeling here that you're sitting in a state of unworthiness. And that's why I think it's really difficult for you to want to go inwards and heal, because you're feeling unworthy, that, you know, you're a piece of crap, or you don't deserve certain things, or there's something that's happened to you right now where you're just sitting there feeling like I've written often in my own journaling about how I just felt like a piece of crap. And of course I used other words, but and that is my unworthiness. I had to sit with and write and journal over and over about how I felt that. And when you start to do that, that helps you, and you have the strength to deal with this unworthiness that needs to be dealt with right now. And then here's the Nine of Pentacles, because, you know, it's abundance. So what it does is it tells you that, you know, once you start to deal with some of this, you need to deal with this unworthiness, there's some abundance that's going to come when you get rid of these yucky feelings and you move this shame out of your system. You're making room for abundance here, for something else to come in. And so that's where you're really needing some healing for your shame, is what you're sitting in right now. Your unworthiness. What is coming up in your shadow right now that is sort of preventing you from healing, that's blocking you? Because these cards are in reverse here. Page of Wands is the first card that comes up in reverse. That's the overall energy for what's coming up for you to heal. And all my pages are my younger children, our younger child, our inner children. And the Page of Wands in particular is, the wand is about taking your life in a new direction. The wand is about your creativity, your intuition. And so there's a younger part of you, a really younger part of you that is blocked right now, that wanted to take their life in a certain direction, maybe do something when they were younger, you know, and they were blocked. They weren't allowed to, maybe. And so I think it's time for you to get in touch with maybe that younger part of you and see, because that younger part of you that wants to talk to you, that wants to be heard, that one that wanted to do certain things, wants to come out here. And it's no surprise that you get the Knight of Swords, because the Knight of Swords, to clarify this, Knights are all about they're an adolescent part, and they're a part that just wants to be free, and they have a sword here. So this part wants to be free, to find out who they are. They want to be free to you know, find out their authenticity. They want to be authentic. They want to be real. And this is sitting in your shadow, this part that wants to be free, to be themselves. And you have the High Priestess coming up. And the High Priestess here is in reverse. And the High Priestess is a Major Arcana card, which means it's a universal force here. And this is the second card in the Major Arcana. And in the Major Arcana, it divides it divides the feminine into two parts. and the feminine energy. And the first one is the High Priestess, and the second one is the Empress. The High Priestess is all about intuition. The High Priestess is all about inner guidance. The High Priestess, you know, she sits between these two pillars, and people think that they can't get past her, like it's something that, you know, you can't get past. People feel like their intuition is something that doesn't exist. It's a feminine quality. Our intuition is we are all intuitive beings, but it has been repressed in a lot of us. We all have this inner guidance. We all have this intuition, and you know, behind her is this beautiful veil, abundant veil, and if you were to lift it, you would see that there are all these emotions that are coming forward here. You know, she's very free flowing here. Her emotions are very free flowing. She's a very feminine quality here, and you know, we all have this inner guidance, and right now it's blocked because your inner guidance, and that is what guides us, right? That's what helps us. That's what guides us. It's blocked right now. And it's blocked because the Chariot card comes right after it. And so what I'm seeing is the Chariot is, this particular charioteer here, he thinks he's leading these two sphinxes, but they're not even moving. And there's no reins here. I mean, his whole chariot is stuck, right? It's made of cement. He's actually become part of this cement chariot because he is driving these two sphinxes by his willpower alone. And you know, our willpower, our ego, can only get us so far. And then we kind of hit this cement wall, right? And then it's like, oh, you can try and you can keep doing it, and then you just hit this cement wall. And so the Chariot says, you know, our will, we can only be driven so far with our will. We have to sometimes realize that we have this inner guidance. We don't always have to rely on this ego in our head, but if we go inwards, you know, this feminine aspect of us who lives, you know, and she is very much someone that's in tune with her own body. And that's where we can get in touch with our own inner guidance here that's blocked. And so you have the guidance in you that's blocked right now. There is a part of you a younger part that needs to be heard, to communicate with you. And there's your inner guidance also that's all buried in your shadow, that's wanting to come out for you to explore and to use. And, you know, rather than having to stay in our head all the time. And a lot of times when we're really blocked with, I see that with the Star card and the Strength card at the beginning, where we just don't want to heal and we're stuck in our heads. We're really stuck in our heads, believing what's in our ego will keep us stuck there. But in order to heal, we've got to get back into the body and start to feel and get in touch with our inner guidance and our intuition, and to get to know what we need to do. It's all there for us, but I see it's blocked. It's yeah, and the Chariot is a real, you know, your real ego that's blocking what you need to get at. And so how do we get out of that? How do we become more aware? And how do we get in touch with our intuition? And so the inner guidance comes in as the Hierophant. And the Hierophant card is, not the inner guidance, the Tarot's guidance. The Hierophant is about where we learned how to be obedient. Where did we learn what was right and what was wrong? Where did we learn how we're wired? And it's all about these things in our life, like religion, for example, or in the Rider-Waite deck, it is a real religious connotation where you have a papal figure and these two disciples, and he's sort of preaching to them. And so the Hierophant refers to, you know, how we were educated. It could be through our schooling. Sometimes people belong to cults. So it depends on your, it's a general reading. So how were you wired? We need to start, the tarot wants you to start questioning, how were you wired? Like, where did your belief systems about yourself come from? Where did they come from? Because your self-worth here, the shame that you have at the beginning, it wants you to start to look at, it wants you to start to get in touch with, what's sitting in your shadow to heal. And it's got the guidance for you. And what is it? Where did you get these belief systems from? And the tarot says, it's time for you to start to question. So if you hear things like, I don't feel worthy. I feel like crap. I'm nothing. I don't deserve this. These are all shame. And so when you hear those messages, it's time for you now to start to go, where'd that come from? Like, is that really true? Am I really a piece of crap? Yeah, you feel like that. But where did that come from? Our shame is given to us. It's not something we're born with. And so as clarification in this reading, you have the Two of Cups. It's in reverse. And the Two of Cups is all about a beginning. It's a beginning of an exchange between two people. It's an exchange of love. But in this particular, because it's love, and because it's this is a healing channel, and I interpret this card as it's the exchange between ourself and our inner child, and ourself and getting to know our inner self, and so this is in reverse here because there is a resistance here from you to go inwards and get in touch with your inner self and give them the love and start to listen to that inner child. What does that inner child want to tell you? What does that inner child want to tell you about the shame that they feel? There's so, and once you go inwards, that's when you're going to start to get in touch with, you're going to start to hear your inner child. You're going to start to hear things like your intuition, because your inner child knows the truth. And the inner child knows what direction for you to take. The Knight of Pentacles is also coming up behind this, getting in touch with yourself. And the Knight of Pentacles is in reverse. And the Knight of Pentacles the Knight is a freedom fighter. And I've talked about that, where it wants freedom. And this particular Knight is very slow, very grounded. But it wants to use its body to... it wants freedom to do what it wants to do. It knows that it's important to become grounded. It knows that in order to get the freedom that they want to get, in order to get free from this, mental strife that you're feeling, these belief systems that you have, it's very important to become grounded, and this gives you the freedom. It really does. It starts to give you freedom, because what it does for you when you start to ground and you start to get in touch and have connection with your inner child, start to hear your inner guidance. And then this last card is the offering from the universe, which is the Ace of Swords, and it is the sword that's going to cut through all the bullshit. It's going to cut through all the bullshit that you've been told. All this bullshit right here, this Hierophant. All this stuff that you've been told, how you were wired. It is the card right here. It's the gift from the universe that's going to help you. It's time to start to rewire your way of thinking about yourself. And this sword right here is the offer from the universe that says, listen, it's time for you. This is the sword of authenticity. It's the sword of truth. It's the sword for you. It's the beginning. And do you want it? Like, do you want to find out who you really are? Do you want to find out that your truth, basically, is what it's saying. You want to find out your truth about who you really are? Or you can sit in the shame, but it's wanting you to go inwards and start to look at where these belief systems are coming from. And so Sagittarius, I want to leave you with a video at the end, which is really helpful in getting to some of these emotions and belief systems about yourself. And in particular, in that video, in this video that I'm going to leave you at the end, it talks about how to journal from those feelings of shame. And I show you how to do that, and because I journal from my shame all the time. And so I'm also going to leave you with a Spirit Oracle card that comes from this deck, Colette Baron-Reid's deck. And yeah, and then I'll see you mid-March. I'll come back for another reading, see where you're sitting. One card for Sagittarius and their energy. Ooh, I'm hoping that, there you go. You got the Spider Spirit. Make your dreams real. Weaving your dreams into the fabric of life begins with a single thread of intention, and then Spirit joins as your co-weaving partner. Take but a single step to make your dream a reality, and Spirit will take 10 toward you. For the universe is designed to support your dream weaving. Spider Spirit arrives when you need reminding of the awesome power of co-creation with Spirit. Ideas and resources will begin to appear as if by magic as you begin to bring your dreams from the realm of intention into the world of the senses where they take form. So be clear about your intentions and then act as if you have become the one that lives the life you desire. Another message of Spider Spirit is about any creative project you may be considering: writing, painting, music, journaling, gardening, etc. Now is the time when inspiration wants to be channeled through. Creative projects are successful now if you are so inclined. Let yourself be open to abundance. That last line is everything. This started out with abundance. And then you got abundance in where you're sitting. Let yourself be open to abundance. I think you have these belief systems in you, and it's time that you start to open it up and let yourself be open to, there might be something different there out for you out there. Talk to you later. Take care.